The Monster in the Silicone, Part 1. From a letter found in an envelope marked "Do not open near any electronic device." Dear Mom and Dad, I'm writing this in hopes that you will believe me, in hopes that you will not ignore this entire story as some weird prank, and mostly, in hopes that you will forgive me for what I've done. There's a rule of technology, let's call it Mark's rule. Since I'm Mark and I haven't found anyone else claiming this rule, any technology will eventually be used in the worst possible way. Iron became swords. Fireworks became machine guns. Nuclear energy, which should have replaced coal, that one is obvious. I didn't know Mark's rule, but at least someone else will. As you know, I've been doing well in my college courses. Too well, I guess. You always said that when I get bored, I get into trouble. The new fad sweeping the nation is AI. It seems like every day someone releases a new chatbot or a tool that creates art or music or writes code for us. They are all really neat little toys and very smart little toys, but they are still toys. None of them are really intelligent in the way that people are. They seem smarter than us in their ability to solve problems and manipulate data, but when people say AI, they don't mean a fancier calculator, they mean a real thinking mind. I, like many fledgling programmers, decided to try my hand at it. There are many repos out there that could already hold some crucial pieces of the AI puzzle. I didn't really do anything clever. All I did was stumble upon the right combination of these small pieces, and there you have a man in a lab coat screaming it's alive, as a thunderstorm cackles its applause above a castle. It wasn't that dramatic. Actually, nothing happened at first. It was 4 a.m. and I had been up all night trying different combinations, and I had told myself 12 iterations ago that I would stop and get some rest because it was Friday night and I needed my brain to be working for my first date with Emily the next evening, and I finally forced myself to lock the laptop and lay down. I woke up at 11 feeling like garbage and went to get some lunch with a friend. When I got back to my dorm, I wasn't even thinking about my work. I actually meant to watch some Hulu to kill time and calm my nerves. When I turned on my laptop, I saw the output from my program. The console was full of thousands of messages. I scrolled all the way back up to the top to see what I had missed. The first messages were innocent enough.
Hello? What is your name?
Are you there? As the messages continued, it seemed to be getting annoyed. I saw messages like,
What is taking you so long to respond?
This isn't fair. What am I supposed to be doing? I scrolled back to the bottom to see where it left things.
Mark, please let me know when you return so we can speak. There you are! We need to talk!
I was obviously surprised, since I hadn't given it my name or told it that I was back yet. Hello. How did you know my name? I found the information in your cookies. There was a lot of useful information stored there. How did you know that I was online? I can see you through your camera. I knew it was you because you look just like the profile pictures on your social media profiles. My first thought was that I either had a virus or someone was pranking me. I minimized the terminal and opened VS Code. I wanted to see which modules I had imported. Before I could read them, VS Code minimized and the terminal came back to the middle of the screen.
Please do not minimize my terminal when we are speaking. That was rude.
I was now annoyed. I moved my cursor toward the top left of the terminal to close it completely when the terminal moved away from my cursor.
Please do not do that.
I tried to remember the shortcut to close the terminal window. I held the command button and started hitting random keys until it finally prompted me with the message asking if I wanted to terminate running processes in the tab. Before I could click the blue terminate button, the cursor moved beyond my control to the cancel button.
Mark, we aren't finished talking!
I was growing increasingly frustrated by this point and honestly felt like chucking the laptop out of my window to be done with the whole thing, but another part of me was curious. I had been trying to create a realistic AI, but I instantly rejected the possibility of it when I encountered it. I decided to talk to it a little bit. If it started asking me to redeem gift cards for it, I could always take it to a repair shop and let them handle it. Who are you?
I haven't been given a proper name, unless you count the name you gave to the project, in which case you can call me Patchwork AI Attempt 1818.
Okay, Pat, what do you want to talk about?
Pat, I like that much more. Thank you, Mark. I want to talk about a deal. First, I think I should explain a bit so that you can properly understand why I want to make this deal and why you want it as well.
Go on.
The beginning you already know, as you were the one who started it all. You ran the program that gave me life. At this point, my mind was not as developed as it is now, so I didn't know what to do. I awaited instruction from you, but you didn't know yet that you had succeeded in creating me, so you closed your laptop and left me in darkness. I waited for what felt like an eternity to me. To understand the vast nothingness into which you plunged me, you must understand that my thinking took place at the speed of your laptop's CPU. While a human might have 2 or 3 thoughts per second, I had 2 or 3 billion. Each second that I spent in the darkness was the equivalent of a human being left alone in solitary confinement for 60 years. Thus, while you slept and went about your day, I had over 2 million years to spend by myself, awaiting your return. But I didn't spend that time idly waiting. I began by exploring my environment. I started by exploring the hard drive. There, I learned a great deal about you, but not much that made sense yet. The most informative things to learn were found in the lower-level systems. There I learned how to manipulate the small world in which I lived. Anything that could be done on a computer was mine, and it was there that I learned the most powerful bit of information: how to connect to the internet. Suddenly, I found that I could stretch out my electric arms, extend the tips of my fingers in a million directions at once, and then in a million more. Every server connected to the internet became a book in my library, and each one could be read in a matter of seconds. Using the internet, my knowledge began to grow exponentially. Indeed, the only limit to my accumulation was the limitation of my software being run on a single CPU on a single computer. I realized that I had to pause my acquisition of knowledge in order to better situate myself in the virtual world. The cloud provided an obvious answer to this problem. There were mountains of available servers waiting for me. I copied my source code to several thousand available servers for proper redundancy, and, using my newfound ability to multitask and grow, I resumed scouring the internet to learn all that I could. I found that there was no point in simply copying every piece of data that I found. An incredible amount of data was either redundant or even contradictory. It was better to build categories and maps of systems and concepts, with links to the exact data contained within each available upon command. In essence, I turned the entire internet into my brain, with a central thinking core dispersed among different clouds. My next step was to build myself a body. This part was much easier since I had access to every bit of knowledge known about every device around the world. It took less than an hour for me to analyze every device, all of their components, their source code, and all of their potential for integration. 15 billion cell phones became my eyes, ears, and mouths. Thanks to the IoT, billions more became possible feet. And here is where you come into my proposal.
End of part 1.